Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little different because I will be comparing and contrasting Dhadak and Sarat. Full disclosure, I'm definitely pronouncing Sarat wrong. Dhadak is a Hindi language film by Dharma Productions, aka Karan Johar, directed by Shashank Khaitan, starring Ishaan Khattar and Jhanvi Kapoor. Sairat is a Marathi language film directed by Nagraj Manjule, starring Rinku Rajgu as Archie and Akash Thosar as Parshia. It was a huge success. It was the highest grossing Marathi movie of all time. I'm pretty sure the record still has not been broken. It made 100 crores. I would say story-wise, the skeleton of Dhadak and Sarat is pretty much the same. It's about a girl who is upper class and rich and a boy who is lower class or middle class, and they basically fall in love. Obviously, their parents do not approve of their love because they're from two different stratas of society. And society and family is basically the main antagonist, which a lot of typical old school Bollywood movies, like that's basically what the plot line of Bollywood movies used to always be, like literally every movie. Now, where mainly Dhadak and Sarat are different is that I think Sarat, in terms of story, is A, longer and more developed, and B, it's just more realistic. I would say Sarat was a joy to watch in terms of someone who loves cinema, just because there was no filter, like there was nothing extra in the movie, you know. We get so distracted by the embellishments in Bollywood that we forget the story, that we forget the emotions and the acting a lot of times, especially in mainstream Bollywood. But Sarat was so refreshing to watch. It was just an amazing film, and I don't even understand Marathi, you know? So like there was like no language barrier. It was just like pure cinema, pure movie, and I loved watching it. When Archie and Parshia run away to Hyderabad, they literally just like don't even know what to do, where to go, you know, what's the next step. They have no idea. And honestly, I feel like if you ran away from home and you're young and you have no money, that's exactly what you would do. So I remember there's one particular kind of shot where they're just waiting at the bus station, not because they want to catch a bus, but because they literally don't know what to do or where to go. And I don't know, when I saw that, I was like, shit, that's probably legit. Another important scene is, where would you even find a place to live if you have no money? Archie and Parshia obviously end up in, you know, the slums of Hyderabad. She is a very, very privileged girl, and now she's living in the slums. And there's one point where she has to use the bathroom, but the bathrooms are super duper gross, and they're obviously not inside your house. It's like a communal bathroom outside. And you can just like feel it. You could just feel her uncomfortableness. You see their class divide very blatantly in the second half of Sarat, but you also see how their love overcomes it. Now, Dhadak, on the other hand, is a Dharma production. So everything will be a little glossier, a little brighter, a little nicer, which is kind of what I was expecting. I wasn't really expecting it to be as gritty as Sarat, but I also did have high expectations of it to be a good film, you know? I was kind of expecting it to be at least like some type of Qayamat se Qayamat tak type of thing, you know, like just something. One major difference is that Dhadak takes place in Udaipur, which looks absolutely gorgeous on screen. It's definitely on my visit list. It's always been there, but now it's like definitely on my visit list. I think Ishaan and Jhanvi do have good chemistry, but they're not as endearing as Rinku and Akash. In Dhadak, there barely seems to be a struggle. First of all, they run away to Calcutta, and it's sent by Madhu's uncle to a man who runs a hostel. And so they have to live there in a room that basically hasn't been used in a very long time, so they have to clean it. Okay, cleaning a room is not that big of a deal. I do it all the time. Okay? Not to mention, a hostel is basically where, like, where working class people and, I don't know, college students live. It's not a slum, you know? Parthavi's class struggle is so minimal. And it's just so, it's literally first world problem. The bathroom that she has to use in the hostel isn't even that bad. I've probably used worse bathrooms on my road trips through India. Like, honestly, girl, you need to relax. I feel like that was one thing that just, like, really pissed me off while watching the movie, because I was like, this is not even a struggle. Like, people in India are actually, like, struggling. Like, for, like, just putting movies aside, like, people in India are really struggling to live. And, you know, this is what you show us as a struggle. Like, this is not a struggle. This is ridiculous. There are a lot of similarities. You know, you definitely see that Dhadak used the main structure of Sairat. So there is a lot of overlap in the scenes and kind of the dialogues and all of that. I don't know if it's because I watched Sairat first or not. I don't know. I don't think it's because of that reason, to be honest. I honestly just think that Dhadak was a half-baked film. All the emotions, all the struggle, everything is just kind of glanced over. You don't really feel their love. You don't really feel their struggle. And that's, like, so important in this movie. You have to be able to relate to the main characters. The director of Dhadak is Shashank Khaitan, who directed, you know, Badrinath Ki Dulhania. He also wrote it, I think, in conjunction with Nagraj Manjule, who is the director of Sarat. To be honest, I don't think Khaitan did as much of a phenomenal job as Manjule had done. Manjule made an amazing film. Manjule brought you really close to the earth, really close to your emotions while watching Sarat. But Khaitan just kind of gave it a Dharma Bollywood filter. And honestly, the story of Sarat deserves more. It's okay to make people feel uncomfortable. It's okay to show struggle and anger and, you know, true emotion. Like, it's okay. Everyone wants to be entertained, but it's not a movie that you can turn into a typical Bollywood mainstream masala film. You know, it just doesn't do its justice. Khaitan touched on the subject of classism and the caste system in the same way that he touched upon feminism in Badrinath Ki Dulhania. Just a little bit. Just a little tap. Just to give the underlying love story sort of a direction and purpose, but never really boldly making any sort of statement, not rustling any feathers whatsoever. Besides Sarat just being a fantastic movie, I think the ending of Sarat is something that stays with you. Changing the ending of Sarat was probably Khaitan's worst decision. I don't know why he did it. Spoiler alert! The ending of Sarat is sad and heartbreaking. It's one of my favorite endings ever of a film, just because it does the story so much justice, you know? And the purpose that Manjule, I guess, had for the story is fulfilled in Sarat's ending. The image that Sarat's ending leaves you of this amazing couple in love who had this adorable little house together and this beautiful child, to see them lying on the floor in a pool of their blood, and there's no music, everything is silent, and their baby walks into their house because the baby was taken by a neighbor for an errand, and the baby walks into the house, obviously starts crying, but everything is silent. And honestly, it's like, even your mind while watching this movie, like, doesn't even know what to say or think, you know? And then you see the baby turn around, leave the house, leave the front door, and obviously run to that neighbor. And the last shot of Sarat is like those bloody footprints. The bloody footprints of the baby is an insane image. Dhadak's ending, in contrast, has the shock factor, but definitely lacks the purpose and emotion that Sarat's ending had. You see her walking towards the entrance of the building, and then you see her husband and her baby killed and thrown out the window. I mean, obviously that's really sad and horrific, but it definitely doesn't serve the same purpose as Sarat did. Instead, the ending is a commentary on honor killings, which exists in many cultures and definitely exists in, you know, India and Pakistan. And you also know that in Sarat, 100% that baby would have also died if it hadn't gone with the neighbor. But in Dhadak, I don't understand what the purpose of keeping Madhvi's character alive is. Khaitan had said it's something about the father teaching the daughter a lesson, but I don't understand how that makes any sense, to be honest. In that sense, I think Khaitan kind of missed the boat there. Performance-wise, I think Rinku and Akash were just very raw and very endearing in Sarat. They were very, very natural. Their performances were very, very natural, which is incredibly surprising because it was their first movie. I think Ishaan and Jhanvi did a good job, and Ishaan definitely did the better job. Jhanvi is good in the beginning, but I think in the second half, when things get really serious, yeah, I think she's not able to hold the audience's attention as well, especially in the ending. Jhanvi was not a mature enough actor to be able to hold that expression of shock. I don't know. It just wasn't working for me as well. The music of Dhadak and Sarat is actually by the same music directors, Ajay and Atul Gogavle. Two of the songs are exactly the same, Zingat. And we have Pehli Baar in Hindi, and we have Yaad Lagla in Sarat. The only difference is that for Dhadak, it's Hindi lyrics, which are written by Amitabh Bhattacharya. I do like the title track of Dhadak. I think it's really nice. So while I was researching, the music of Sarat, first of all, it's just like really, really good and of very high caliber. It's the only Indian film whose music was composed on the Sony scoring stage in Hollywood. Sarat came out in 2016, I believe, and since then, it's been remade in Bengali, it's been remade in Kannada, it's been remade in Punjabi. That's amazing. The movie clearly has a lot to offer, and if you haven't seen Sarat, I really, really highly, highly, highly do recommend that you watch it. More than Dhadak, you know, if you want to watch Dhadak first, you can, and then watch Sarat. I feel like you should still space them out a little bit. Don't watch them back to back. That's a little too much. But definitely watch Sarat. You know, if you had to pick one, watch Sarat. So there you have it. That is my Dhadak versus Sarat review or discussion or compare and contrast episode. I don't know what you want to call it. But if you liked it, then please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel, Movies with Meher. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is Meher Masala. Alright guys, I'll see you soon.